And we're live.
Live. Look at that.
How is he able to block?
You're always able
Auto
to
mutes everyone except for him. Like, how is his computer so amazing that it just auto skips? It doesn't care. It's like, you know what? No, I'm not muting the microphone. You can't.
Got the anti-government tracking on it.
All right, Canadian. Who are we talking about tonight?
Well, for our 64th episode, we'll be covering another Jedi Master on the Council, which is Saesee Tiin. Saesee.
And if that certain person is here right now, it's not my fault we're late. Okay, you don't send me text messages says where's the show? I actually going to be there tonight. Look at the guy below; he's right there, and I asked him what was going on. But yes, I was saying that sometimes whenever you you get into a habit of let's say you wait the last minute to study for tests your whole life. And then one day you're like, this time I'm going to study and I'm going to do the right thing. Well, that was kind of like me. I was just telling the Canadian that usually I wait to the last second and I'm sprinting trying to figure out what I'm doing. Where's the guff going? But since it's Frozen World here in Texas, I had all the time in the world to do this. So I went and did the short. I went and did all this stuff. And I go, and usually what I do is I do the short for YouTube, and then I have to re-upload it again and do it into the format that's ready for this show. And I usually do it right back to back. This time I decided not to. So when I go live, I looked down there, and I didn't have a video. That's fun. So we had to hurry up and run around like a maniac. So that's awesome. Now that I have the video, let's see what we got. A male Iktachi born on the moon Iktach, Saesee Tiin, served the Jedi Order and was a veteran of the Stark Hyperspace War. He was eventually promoted to the rank of Jedi Master and gained a seat on the Jedi High Council. Tiin had natural telepathic powers. He was regarded as one of the best starfighter pilots, lightsaber duelist, and as a legendary warrior among the Jedi High Council. Tiin was present at the first Battle of Geonosis, the opening battle of the Clone Wars. Tiin, unlike many of the others in the battle, he survived, having escaped alongside Master Windu and Master Mundi, and went on to become a Jedi General in the Grand Army of the Republic. As the hunt for General Grievous continued, 4 council members, Tiin, Fisto, Kolar, and Windu, were sent to arrest Chancellor Palpatine. Palpatine, however, would not go quietly, pulling his lightsaber to engage the group of Jedi. Despite the skills of the Jedi Masters, the Sith Lord quickly cut down Kolar and Tiin, who became the first Jedi to die in the Great Jedi Purge. All right. So the weird thing was, try to keep this down to a minute. YouTube only allows a minute. It should have been super easy because he doesn't have that much. But what he does have is kind of important. And just because he's the guy there. And so when I went to do the video, I was okay, cool. He only has 4 things, right? He dies. He's supposed to be a great Jedi. He's there for Ahsoka Tano. He's kind of one that turns his nose up at her and says he's definitely guilty. And he's there whenever they drop off the body of a Jedi who dies and all this kind of stuff, right? Mm-hmm. I do this, and when I'm talking, usually when I first do it, I'm like this. Let's see. Kachunga's a Jedi that comes out, and I try to fast to see how fast I get to a minute. Dude, I was at 2.5 minutes. I'm like, how? How am I at 2.5 minutes? It was so weird. So he ended up getting just this is who he was and this is how he died. Have a great day. That's what we got.
That's so funny. This guy has a lot of a background and appearances, and just he's there for everything, which is really funny.
It is actually very funny because he, one of his main things he's known for is to basically not talk. He just basically,
which is really funny. He's the introvert of the council. He actually even one thing I found interesting, the telepath thing was probably the most interesting, I think.
That was.
I don't really think of too many in Star Wars that have that. But the other thing was he purposely chose not to have an apprentice, a Padawan. even though getting pushed by everyone else telling him, "Hey, buddy, you should probably get a Padawan now," and he's just like, "No, no, thank you. I'm gonna go on my ship. I'm gonna go for a ride. I'll come back. I'll come back when I feel comfortable."
It's
It
become a thing now. I just did a video that's going to come up. It's not going to release tomorrow, where I open up a bunch of these. The video took me forever because my computer is really bad and it doesn't like doing this. This guy's name, just spoiler, that says one Jack. Read it. If you listen to the video, I pronounce it I Jack about 6 times. I'm letting it go because I wasn't going to redo it again because my computer barely got that uploaded in the first place. Why I called him my Jack, I have no idea. But have fun with that, YouTube.
That was your Freudian slip right there.
No, actually not. Nobody needs the new Alabama. We're just going to leave it at that. All right.
What is that,
So,
oil rig? It's an oil rig, isn't
yeah,
it?
that's the Houston Oilers.
It looks like a radio tower. I don't know.
That's an oil rig. You wouldn't know anything about that. You live in Canada. Apparently, you don't know anything about oil up there. I don't understand.
No, we
that.
don't. Nothing at all. Howard just shows up one day.
Yeah, so he had, which is kind of weird because he had the ability to move things with his mind. Well, telepathic. He was apparently an amazing lightsaber duelist. We're going to get into that later on because, and then he was one of the better starfighter pilots. He was looked at for a while. So
Anakin came in, stole his sunshine.
Well, Anakin came in and caused a lot of problems. But then, like I said, the only thing he's known as always being in the background. He listens. He doesn't talk. And he's got big old
horns.
Are those horns? Or are they the same kind of things that the rest of this Star Wars has?
I was looking at
my only one.
It is a horn. It's a horn that regrows back because he's had it cut off.
That's true. He's had it cut off, yeah.
Before. And it looks like a bone, right, when it gets cut off. So he does grow back.
There is. I would hope that everyone would go take a look at it because I am tired of fighting with Disney about it. I can do whatever I want to, but I cannot put Clone Wars material up.
For 2003, the best
original
version,
Clone Wars.
The best.
He has a badass cartoon. Like most of the people we cover, they are awesome in that cartoon. He has a badass moment where he's got half of his horn cut off. He puts on a helmet for a spacewalk.
The best scene ever. That moment.
Look it up because that makes him a badass. Like I said, I'm just done fighting with Disney. I don't know why they don't want people to see that cartoon. I have no idea why, but they do not like it whenever I put stuff on here.
No idea. But yeah, did you
that show is full. It's full of classic scenes. That show.
Oh yeah, it's awesome.
Well, again, like that scene, everyone didn't see it. Like I quoted that one because I love the moment where he gets out of his ship. The clone goes up, "Sir, the ship's going down." And he's like, "Well, time to take another one." And then
yes, he does.
The whole clone, they all march at the moment. He's like, "All right, doors open up, attack." They jump out of the ship and they board like a pirate ship. They board the Separatist ship.
Yeah.
And take it over like that.
It is one of the badass moments of that show that they didn't have as many of those with the actual Clone Wars where he's like, "So I'm taking to the ship," and then he was the first to way before Leia did it. He was the first to Mary Poppins through space because he never has a jetpack. He just force pushes his way, I guess, through space and takes the other one. So he was the first. A few of the things that he did, he was the one that inspected Darth Maul's personal craft.
I had no idea about that. That was a really cool thing to find out. Because they're like, "Oh,
where did you read that?" I didn't read
that. That was in what was it? That was in one of the random books.
Yeah, it's a book. I think. I don't think it's a comic book. I think it's
not a comic. It's one of the books. Because I read the extra book because it's interesting. Was some Republic guys died trying to access the ship.
Yeah, every time they would try to go to technicians.
Because he's the ship expert, right? He's like the best pilot and ship of the Jedi. That was probably the single best
yes.
of that series. Oh, it's gonna suck when we talk about Mace Windu eventually, and we can't show that.
Yeah. because Mace Windu was at full 1,000 superpowers at on that cartoon. He was ridiculous like that, where he just like basically snaps his fingers and all their screws and bolts come unscrew. That's the most hilarious thing ever.
It's the best.
Yes, but when they got Darth Maul's ship, every technician went there was booby traps. I tell you, booby traps, like the Goonie style. And so they sent him in there, because they tired of losing these poor technicians guys who were like, what probably happened there was they checked their union manifest. Like, listen, I got my union contract here. It says nothing about Sith spaceships.
Too many insurance payouts in 1 month, so they had to.
So that pretty much leads us into the Clone Wars, the outbreak of the Geonosis. I forgot the is part. Battle. He was one of the ones that decided to everybody go back to backs and let's take on these endless supply of robots, battle droids, and he was one of the ones you see at the last second. I always thought it was funny because they get treated as heroes, but if you watch that, there are still Jedi and clones are fighting, right? Like the amount of times that they instantly they have never met a clone in their lives. They never shook his hand. They don't know what these people are, and these guys are dropping down to defend them in this armor. And our boys, the Jedis, they're tucking tail, getting on the ship and getting out. Like, no, that's stopping to help fight with these guys. Like, they don't know who these guys are. Yeah. They use them as fodder so much. It's like alarming sometimes. When you go back and look at it, like 5 years from now, that's fine. 4 years from now or whatever, that's fine because you know what they are. But like at that moment, that could have been just regular people jumping down in space commando armor. And they're like, okay, you got it from here, boys. We're going to peace out, get on the ship and leave. I thought that was interesting that he was one of the survivors and a hero later in life.
Yeah.
I was playing on Twitch. What's
Sorry?
that?
Oh, go ahead.
No, go ahead. What were you going to say?
Oh, I was just going to say I didn't find out like really how old he was.
Yeah, I don't actually remember seeing his age anywhere.
I don't think they actually mention it. They usually say about when he was born, but they don't. They just go straight into.
Yeah, I think what's it called? I didn't look up to see if his species aged normally. If it was like
I didn't either. I didn't see. Like if they talked about it, I don't think that it's not something that they've made a really big point to talk about. They usually will say it in something. When
like when they bring up like Yoda Yaddle, they live for so long, or like what's his name, the curly, the one that looks like it's just big hair. That guy is also like they mention he lives much longer than average.
It's usually one of the first things like try and find out with any of these characters is how old they are. What they've lived
seems
through.
Their lifespan.
Where were they? What were they doing?
It seems their lifespan's about the same as a human. Like standard,
yeah. We'll talk about it at the end, but I was gonna say on Twitch the other night I was playing Lego Star Wars, which by the way, if you never played it, play it. I haven't played a Legos game before, really. And this was hilarious. I was cackling like a little kid through half of it because the humor is pretty ridiculous sometimes.
It's great.
But they were in Geonosis and they were somebody was asking about the bugs and the bots and everything. And I was like, hey, I have a quick trivia question for anybody. Does anybody know what happened to this entire planet and the people in it after they're like, what? And I told them that, they no longer exist. And they were like, well, that seems harsh. And I was like, hey, that's the Empire's way. They were just simple mechanics. They were simple fodder. They didn't matter. There you go. Colonel's helping us out here. Wiki said he was born prior to 44 BY.
Okay.
There you go. A lot of room. We usually say at the end, but I was going to say a lot of room to find out how he became, he's the Jedi Master on the Council. I don't know if there's a lot of, information as how he got to that point. So that would be interesting. All right, and he leads into the guy we talked about last week, Even Peel. He helped with his rescue whenever they needed rescue. They sent him in, and that's kind of what he does. Honestly, if you go back to look through some of his battles, he's kind of the guy they sent in to provide support to rescue people, or if somebody was getting overran, he would support. He was mostly like, I guess, kind of used. I guess that's what he was made for in the cartoon, to provide air support when needed, kind of thing.
Just quickly, as a funny thing, I was just doing some math here. If he was born prior to 44 BY, he would be at least 26 years old.
Okay.
By Revenge of the Sith when he dies.
So
I don't. So if Phantom Menace, then he's pretty young. He's doing pretty.
Yeah.
He's not doing too good age wise. He doesn't look that. Doesn't look too good.
And then I guess I don't know what else to talk about other than the fact that he.
I mean, just him being like him and Anakin were really the only like true him. Sorry, him, Anakin, and Plo Koon were like the true starfighter pilots of the.
Yeah, I was gonna say
Jedi.
Plo Koon was the other one.
And there is some episodes where of the 2008 Clone Wars where he is basically piloting for most of the episode, usually alongside Plo Koon, which is kind of fun. Which made it interesting because I would imagine, like, I was looking up, apparently it was scrap in the first draft of Revenge of the Sith. He was supposed to die on Megiddo with Ki-Adi-Mundi, but kind of almost feels like he would have been flying with Plo Koon. If anything, he would have been,
It would have been nicer if they had let him die in some kind of random walkabout or flying around. Would have been nicer than what ends up happening to him. But
be funny. They'll do the ship boarding again. I see the doors open. When he jumps out, they close the doors.
Something would have been better. Like, yeah. But so he was kind of. It seems like him and Mundi and the purple one. It seems like those three were in cahoots.
The purple one. Windu?
Huh?
Windu?
Yeah.
The purple one. I'm like,
it seems like those three were in cahoots. It seems like a lot of times when I'm reading a story, even in a book or a comic book, those three were in the corner somewhere.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, we agree. Let's go. Because it was like those three were here. Those three agreed. Those three and the Ahsoka Tano, whenever they decided that she was guilty of her crimes, it was those three who decided she was guilty of her crimes.
They were like, Mace Windu is making his own, the vice president of the council is really.
So, yeah, I was about to say. So the more I look into this, I've already had some suspicions. Although I think Mace Windu is amazing, I've already had some suspicions. But the more I was looking at that, the more I was thinking, wait, Mace, he's over here. He's got his boys, right? He's got his voting.
His hit squad. He's part of. Yeah. Actually, that's another thing to bring up. That since the Clone Wars, Tin joined his hit squad alongside Fisto and what's the other guy's name again? Koth, Evan Koth.
Oh yeah.
They joined his Mace Windu's hit squad. Literally called that. So definitely in his inner circle right there.
They needed to practice more, but so yeah, he was the one. Like I said, he did a lot of that stuff, a lot of the, I guess, quiet stuff behind the scenes. And that, I mean, they made a point to say, because he didn't talk often, when he did, people listened, because he didn't share stuff right away. So other than that, I think that's it as far as just like canon stuff. I can't think of anything else other than the most embarrassing part of his legacy. I actually bring up Wikipedia right now. The legacy is more about like when Vader entered the portal and stuff, and they saw him. But yeah, he's gonna go down as one of the first people who gets taken out by the old man who could barely move his lightsaber. Yet he took them all out. He was the second one, I guess, technically, one that was stabbed.
But what's funny is apparently, and we'll see in the comic. Apparently, in the novelization, they go to say that him and Koth get killed basically at the exact same time. He hits him with the same swipe. Well, in the movie, they did a little 1-2 action.
Yeah. The only thing that makes it look worse now, it's if they had kind of kept that lore that a lightsaber can cut through metal, it can cut through whatever metal they use in the Star Wars world for their ships and everything, because we've seen countless, the famous, lightsaber, cut out your own hole through the hull of a ship to get through there. If they kept that, I don't think it would be as bad. But the fact now that, well, I guess it is kind of back and forth. Darth Maul got cut in half, so like that's hard to explain that one. But in the modern Disney Plus, the fact that they're cutting people in the stomach every few minutes and they seem to be living just fine. But so I don't know what part of the organ has to be missed because Darth Maul stabbed somebody in the stomach and that person died almost instantly. But yet, I don't know. I don't know if there's a different, maybe the red lightsabers, they hit differently. Maybe they go for the internal organs or something differently because all the Jedi lightsabers don't seem to kill people and stab them in the stomach. I don't get it. Okay, other than that, I think that's it. Kachung, what do you think about him dying in about 1.2 seconds, even though he's supposed to be one of the better lightsaber fighters in the whole clan?
Yeah, I don't know why people don't talk about him more. I don't hear his name very often.
It's funny, yeah.
And I mean, I didn't know much about him. I only really know him mostly from the cartoon. But yeah, it's interesting to know that he was fighting pirates in the hyperspace war. Prior to Phantom Menace, right?
Which is an interesting thing because,
and I guess
they involved that. Sorry?
I think that one of the problems is that I'll never bash Daddy Filoni, right? I'm not here to do this, but he had a plan. He had a story he wanted to tell. He wanted to tell a story. You can almost argue Kenobi. He obviously brings him back in and out of all of his stuff, but of what got Skywalker to the point he had, and it didn't really matter. Everyone else in that show was kind of there as filler. But if you took this guy from the original Clone Wars, who was done by different people, different everything, and you took some of his badass moments in that and gave him just those few seconds of shine in the next Clone Wars that came out, I think we would hear a lot more about him and some others. But unfortunately, and then in the movies, of course, our creator and founder didn't seem to care about any Jedi other than a Skywalker. So, but yeah, there's no reason. I mean, he looks cool. Look at him. Like he looks. It's like a Minotaur or something. Look at him.
Just a classic. He's a cool looking character. Give him a couple cool scenes, and easy favorite for a lot of people.
All right, so we had to jump into media then at this point.
Yeah. Because even though we talked about his kind of limitedness, he has a lot of comic appearances.
There it is right there. Sorry, good Lord, Disney, I do not own this. This is Disney's property. I cannot believe you put this on here, even as still. But that is the scene that we're talking about there.
I have to. If I don't put that scene, what's the point? It needs to be shown.
But it is a badass scene. That is the scene where he says, well, it's time for us to take another ship, and he just Mary Poppins his ass right out the ship and goes across space. So it's pretty awesome.
Yeah, it's too cool.
It's funny that he has a helmet that contains those.
Oh, it's so cool! It's just a little cutout.
Yeah, listen, you got to protect your horns too, brother. You can't have them just sticking out there like that. You got to protect the horns.
So, so quickly to go over some appearances in TV movies. He's in all 3 films. The prequels, his first appearance in Phantom Menace, and his death in Revenge of the Sith. That 2003 Clone Wars, he appears in 4 episodes. The first chapter, and then this set of the one that's still behind it is set in chapters 21 to 23. Tales of the Jedi, he appears twice actually, which is fun. He appears in the Choices episode, which is the one where he attends the funeral, and Practice Makes Perfect. The Dragon Board. And then Practice Makes Perfect, he just appears there, obviously, alongside the council. And then Clone Wars 2008, he's in a lot of it. Even if he's just there in the background or just a silent character, as we talked about. Season 3 and Season 4, he's there throughout. He has most of his stuff ends up coming from season 5, and he has some sizable stuff in season 6. But obviously, then season 5 has the arc with Ahsoka and the on the panel of guilty judges.
Yeah.
Because even when, like we talked about, even he doesn't talk. So even when he's like walking along other people and he's got a nice phrase shot and stuff, he ain't saying anything like that. The voice
animators loved him for the animators loved him for that. They didn't have to move any lips. They just
you probably really could talk in another voice actor just to do his part for him. Like you're just gonna grunt like once. That's all I needed.
So for Legends comics, as you can tell,
good lord.
So I'll quickly go down a couple here. So issue 13 of the first Star Wars series of Dark Horse is his first appearance. Alongside, he goes on to Jedi Council, Acts of War. He's there, as well as a bunch of issues from the Star Wars run. Issue 39 and 41 is the Stark Hyperspace War. It's the flashbacks there.
Mm-hmm.
Issue 45 again is the last issue from that series before it transitioned to Republic. That's also where Aayla Secura's knighthood was. On the Republic side of the series, his first cover appearance is issue 65, where it's also Mace Windu's hit squad. And he has a pretty cool moment in 66, which I decided to add here. Otherwise, he more or less just constantly appears throughout, pretty much just a background character again. Issue 27, Empire, he's in a flashback, which is fun. And then his death in Revenge of the Sith. After that, he was in the Darth Maul Death Sentence miniseries, as well as the Clone Wars 12-issue run they did. So yeah.
So you said his first appearance is Dark Horse. So what's his first canon appearance then?
Mace Windu, as most of these Jedi have been actually. Yeah. You'll see after I have the canon one set up for later.
The subtitle of Mace Windu is The Inner Circle.
The Inner Circle. They all have little rings too.
So special handshakes.
So again, this issue is very big. We should probably pick this up ourselves before we keep talking about this, because again, there he is alongside Yaddle, who we talked about in this one. Same with Evan Peel. They both appeared here, alongside some others. So that one we covered before with Plo Koon and some of the other Jedi. It's basically a 4-issue miniseries where just before episode 1, there is a big essentially bandits, they call them, or mercenaries. Something happens where the Republic has to send soldiers to stop this war from happening. And the issue is there's not enough, so they send all more. So they send all the Jedi. That's it.
You
send all the Jedi.
You cannot be telling Tacoma Comics if he doesn't already own it. Like your eBay price is skyrocketing. You can't be telling him that.
He could probably buy multiple lots and spread some love. It's a pretty cool miniseries and it's in great art, so you should probably enjoy it. But yeah, this one. So don't buy this one, Tacoma. Let us buy this first, please. And then we and then we. So again, a lot of those series.
Man, I feel like we just saw these covers. Where have I seen these covers from?
Honestly, again, it's not like these characters all share the exact same background appearances. So yeah, he's there. He's next to over the shoulder, actually perfect.
Nice.
Right over Quinlan's shoulder. And yeah, then Attack of the Clones, pretty great double spread there.
There's a lot going on here.
And a weird thing,
have to stare at that for a long time.
And a weird thing, he has a blue lightsaber, even though in the movie he has a green lightsaber.
All right,
it's interchangeable.
He picked it up off someone.
He was borrowing someone else's crystal.
Yeah.
Yeah, Plo Koon.
So yeah, there is the hit squad, his hunters, and then
yeah,
his first cover appearance. Pretty cool cover, honestly. I really like that cover.
It's like
it's funny because I don't want to clown them. Like I don't want to snicker if this is real and I'm standing here watching them walk by, because they look real tough, and he looked real smooth coming out of the elevator when he was going to go, stop this emperor nonsense. And I'll be damned if they didn't get taken out in like 1 second.
Oh man.
Always a bigger fish, boys. Always a bigger fish.
So this is a fun moment. Anyways, they're trying to fight their way through, guys. Blast door closes. And then Tin says, look out. If we knock on the door together, I think we'll open it up. As they both stab their lightsabers through the door and blast it right open. And they just go to town. So, these two guys here, they look like really good teammates. They look like they have a good partnership where they could easily fight some guys, right? Maybe they could take on one guy at once together.
One old elderly guy who can barely do anything.
And then the Obsession series, which we talked about numerous times before as well. He's there talking to Mace Windu, telling him maybe I should be flying the ship actually. And Mace Windu tells him, "Nah, you need it elsewhere."
I hate to keep saying this because I say it every time, but I love the fact that Dark Horse did not care about using purples or yellows or greens or teals in their covers. They always use the craziest of colors.
Yeah, the best, tertiary and like the colors going on. So here's the infamous scene. So Revenge of the Sith. So the comic actually goes off of the novelization. So both Koth and Tin get hit at the exact same time with the lightsaber being slashed across the chests. Which, makes it a little better, I think, in terms of, not one getting stabbed and he just turns and hits the other guy.
Yes. They both get taken off guard by the old man pointing out the lightsaber, because you can say they technically didn't know for sure he is who he says he was. So they lit it and stab both of them at the same time is way less bad than what you saw in the movie, which is stab, half a second, stab. Like there was like no reaction time whatsoever.
That's the thing. Oh man. But yeah. And then in terms of canon comics, he has a couple. So Mace Windu, number 1 is his first canon appearance. He has no covers or variants actually by chance in any of
You're disrespecting this man.
I know.
He's such an awesome looking guy. Why doesn't he have covers? Like he would be.
I thought he might have a variant or a cover on one of the Adventures series from IDW, but no, not even there.
Well, the 32 people that are going to watch this video, we're gonna put the power of the internet, and they're gonna be like, you know what? He is a popular character.
Yeah, no galactic icons either. I always search that when I'm looking up to see some characters, but sadly no. Otherwise, again, a lot of those just random appearances he has, usually a couple, just one page. And with his most recent appearance being, again, issue 26 of Vader with the flashback. And you can guess what page that's going to
be. Jedi Council.
Yeah. So anyways, this is the first appearance of him. He is sitting there looking at the big ball, and
I got that. I got that.
Oh,
I have the oh my god, what are they called when there's like 4 in 1?
The multi-pack?
No, the I forgot what it's called, but it's like when they do the whole story in one.
Oh, the trade paperback.
Yeah, I have the trade of that, and it's that cover. I don't have the actual cover.
Great covers on the series, but yeah. So in Adventures 12, he appears very, very briefly at the very bottom left panel, just standing there. Fun cover. And then obviously this is the one that he most recently appears in, as we talked about. I think 3 times in a row now.
Yeah. Hint,
yeah.
If you don't have it, apparently.
Yeah.
Sand issue.
Because again, as you realize, it's really funny that none of these guys appear in the comic for episode 1, because only 3 of them really show up in that scene, because everyone else is either just non-existent or behind a wall. So
I'm gonna assume that you misspelled Poon. Chris. All right. Oh,
now
good
on
Lord.
the toys, this guy has a lot of toys, so I had to actually cut some down. So on the left is this first toy, the Power of the Jedi for Episode 1.
I think I haven't read them, Chris, but I do believe that one of y'all said this, right? That the covers are awesome, but the interiors weren't that great.
I am enjoying the interiors to those.
Yeah.
They're good.
Okay, I guess I'm wrong then.
Yeah, no, the interiors are done. So the covers were done by there were 2 different artists that have been doing the covers. I think Adi Granov did the first couple, or even it's one or the other. And then the later covers were done by Geist, which is really
But
good.
check this out, though. Look, the toys are confused, too. I'm seeing blue.
Yeah, I know.
And I'm seeing green, and I don't even know if he has a lightsaber there. They took his lightsaber away on this one.
So yeah, the Power of the Jedi on the left, the Attack of the Clones in the middle, and on the Revenge of the Sith on the right. He has different figures from each of those series too, actually. So he has like almost 12 different figures.
It's Raza did that cover.
Raza did the cover, yeah. Like they're, I think they're good.
Why don't you just rub some dirt in it? They actually made a freaking whole toy of him.
This
getting
was the surprise. I saw Saesee Tiin 5-pack, like 5-pack, and yeah, this came out. This is pretty cool. Yeah, so it has all of them with a couch. You get the couch too. Don't forget.
Wow,
that's actually really cool. I didn't know that was even a thing. To be honest with you,
I had no idea either.
Huh.
This is cool. The Legacy Collection. So he has the helmet and the armor.
Oh, but the helmet's not quite right. But that is pretty cool, though.
Oh, actually, the horns. When you put the helmet on, the horns you come off, and you attach the horns onto the side.
Oh, okay.
Well, wait till you see the next one. This one's cool. This is pretty cool too. So the Clone Wars has one where he has like this jump pack as well.
He doesn't need that.
But he doesn't need it. You can just put the helmet on. Now, okay, this is funny. So we talked about with Evan Peel last week. We talked about his first Lego, which was actually which was his Starfighter. Now, I thought that was going to be his first Lego appearance, but no, it was this shuttle, which is crazy because I remember I had this shuttle. I had this when I was younger, but I don't remember him looking this horrible. He looks terrifying.
I take it back. I think I said that there's nothing you can't do with this guy that make him look good. Every toy would look good. That is, wow. That's Lego, man. Wow. That wasn't very nice what you did there.
Yeah, pretty bad.
He looks like a rebel pilot that's melted.
I don't even. Yeah, it looks like when I wanted to give my guys, like they get tortured or something. What in the world?
I was looking up toys and I saw this and I remembered this. I remembered they made a line of Star Wars Transformer toys where it was their ship or their vehicle, and it turned into a Transformer guy that looks like, so underneath that helmet is his face, which is even weirder. But his character fits in the chest there. Yeah, I didn't know this is it's a really weird thing. I just had to include it.
Yeah.
If I find any strange toy with the character, I must include it.
And it's double yellow.
Double, not even green, not even blue, it's yellow.
Colonel agrees. He has no words for that monstrosity. I will say this. So on the gunship that they always land and everybody jumps off of, when you're on eBay, when I was first, because I have a gunship that Barbarian got me from, of course, he went to a swap meet and found like 80% of one. So I thought I was going to part it out. It actually might make sense to sell the one I have and buy one that's in a box, because the parts, of course, are expensive. Everybody wants like $70 for one part or something crazy. But one thing you have to be very careful with, there is a transformer of that dropship. And depending on some very clever angles and pictures, you don't, unless you're paying a lot of attention, you don't really notice it right away. Because some people on eBay, they'll put it in their closet and there's barely any light on it. And that transformer is probably $50, $20, whatever, but you'll have somebody go 150, and it's just enough for if it was late at night and you got a little too excited, you could buy a $100 more expensive lightsaber or dropship thinking that you got a great deal, but no, not really. Not such a great deal. That's interesting. Yeah. I've actually never seen them like that. Because every time somebody sells them, they sell them as looking like the ship. I've never actually seen it.
Yeah, they're really weird. I had some when I was younger too. I had a Jango Fett one. I remember that. But yeah, So that would be Saesee Tiin. Now for news, do you want to go straight in the news then?
Yeah, let's go straight to the news. Well, that's it, right? Is that good? Are we done with his?
Yeah, that would be it for him, I believe, more or less.
So, what do you guys think? Are they underutilizing him, or because of his embarrassment from getting beat in 2 seconds, is he right where he needs to be?
No, they need to put him in more stuff.
I like where he is, but they should have given some more just badass moments for him.
Yeah, probably. All right, let's go into the news.
The comics are kind of just settled. The comics are just kind of settled around the episode 5 and 6 right now.
Yeah,
and there aren't a whole lot of stories going on that are pre-Revenge of the Sith, so they need to do more of that.
In future, we'll probably get some more miniseries of anything, like how we had the Mace Windu and Obi-Wan. We'll probably get, maybe we'll get something else on the others. But yeah, so this is a fun one. This was mentioned a while ago, but they never had cover art for it. This is Star Wars Jedi Battle Scars. It's going to be the book that's set between the first game and the new game coming out. It's going to bridge the time gap between the two of them. I think it's 5 years between. This comes out in March, and the game comes out in April.
Do we know that he's a part of that world? The fellow that's floating in the top there in the red?
Now that's what I'm thinking interesting, because
I wasn't aware that he was a part of that little.
Well, here's the thing. This takes place 5 years after the first game.
Mm-hmm.
So it's still before Rebels, I believe. Or if I'm not, or if I remember correctly, the game is going to take place the same time as Kenobi did, the TV show.
Oh, okay.
So he would still be around. Obviously, he's not going to die.
That's the fifth brother, but that is the Rebels version of the fifth brother, not the Kenobi version of the fifth brother. So that's interesting. I thought he was awesome in Rebels. So
and then some Death Troopers next to him on his left.
It is interesting.
New poster for Mandalorian. I think this one's much better.
Yeah,
I think he's on Mandalore actually, because I think that might be Concord Dawn right above. This is one toy released, and here's something interesting. Do you notice anything about this?
There's a window.
Yeah, there's plastic. It's not cardboard. I don't know why. It's the only one I think I noticed without cardboard.
They need to start noticing it a lot more.
And it's for what's his name, Admiral.
Oh yeah.
It's the Admiral from Bad Batch.
Ramadan.
Ramadan.
It's actually the mouse droid. It should say mouse droid, and it comes with this Imperial officer.
Yeah.
I was gonna say I'm more interested in the mouse droid than that little random guy.
So here's this came up today. I was just finalizing everything, so I had to redo it all.
Who's the top right corner? Before you start talking, who's the top right corner?
Starkiller.
God damn it! I knew that's who that was.
So Hasbro Pulse had a live stream, and they unveiled a bunch of different upcoming stuff that's exclusive to Celebration, as well as coming in spring. So on the right is I love that, the Scout Trooper helmet.
I was about to say, now, isn't there somebody that I know who loves the look of the Scout Trooper? Who would need that $150 helmet? I can't put my finger on it. Somebody needs that helmet. Isn't that weird?
So yeah, it's pretty cool. Oh man.
Oh, I can't wait for that to come out.
This is cool. So this is going to be exclusive to Celebration Europe. So it's it's a box that has the Revenge of the Jedi, the running title for Return of the Jedi, with Vader. And it's like Vader as it does on the cover, like the red and black look.
He let some kid tag him up like that? Oh, he's lost his step. That looks pretty cool though.
Here's another one.
Honestly, as stupid as this kind of is, you think about it in the grand scheme of things, it's actually cool because there's probably 1 million Darth Vader toys. And at least it's different. Like at least it's cooler like that.
This is cool. Clone Commander Jesse, another Clone Wars figure. I think the symbol looks great. It does look like a good actual mold on his head. But you also notice this is cardboard again.
Caution. I watch a lot of toy channels, and they have a lot of issues with not getting the right toy inside when they open those up.
Yeah, Colonel. That Vader, the Revenge of the Jedi one, is a Star Wars Celebration Europe exclusive. So for the convention that's happening in April.
What is he getting ready for? He looks like he's ready for like heavy battle. This is like heavy garb here.
Yeah, like samurai gear.
Yeah, that's crazy looking.
Yeah, it's cool.
Like it looks like thicker here than it does. Like even in the drawing, like it looks thicker. Like that's more layered looking. That's kind of cool.
Yeah, it is cool. This is one of the
man.
3.5. It's the Phase 2 212th pack. So, good old Cody's troops.
Yeah, I think it is actually. Oh. No, I don't need that for sure. These make so much sense, but then you find out they're like $50 or something. Usually they're pretty expensive.
Yeah.
Usually.
These are two
Hold
interesting
on.
ones.
Ka-chung. What was the groan for?
He wants it there, I see.
I don't know. Like, I don't know. We're like moving on. All of a sudden I heard this.
These are cool. So this is they had some of the retro or the vintage styles. They have actually the first Andor one, I think, or one of the ones at least I remember seeing. And it's the Clone Trooper. And then on the right is a Bad Batch for Clone Captain Hauser, which I know Kachun was mentioning he's enjoyed them.
There you go.
Yeah. The guy on the left is the one that got kicked off the bell tower.
Yeah.
And then they had
just flying down.
They had four
Holy cow, they're gonna have him with no helmet on?
So they had four Return of the Jedi anniversary ones. So they had Darth Vader, no helmet, Han Solo.
That's actually cool with the no helmet one.
Yeah. Weequay. And then Admiral Piet, who we've covered before, obviously.
I think technically I need this because I have the Jabba, the skiff thing. I think I need that guy actually.
You might be disappointed in me because I just realized I don't think the Starkiller one went up there. I don't think it uploaded.
Wow, what a jerk! That's good though. I didn't need to know about it anyway.
It's based on his Force Unleashed 2 outfit.
Don't worry about it. We don't need to know about it. We're going on to the new comic book day.
Yeah. So this is a reprint of the re-release of the first volume, Dr. Afra Omnibus. It's the same two covers they're doing, the A and the B cover there. So if you didn't get it originally,
I think Chunk said he's getting both of these. I think he's buying them all of them.
Yeah. Oh,
you're right.
And then the premiere So today was the first release of Sana Staros' first issue for her miniseries.
Yeah, that A cover is pretty good.
Yes, the A cover's on the left.
Very nice cover. Holy cow!
Nice. On the right is the Black History Month variant, and that features her father, Felstar.
Did you put the others up? Because I like the other one.
Yes, the others are next. The one on the left looks fantastic. I know the one on the right is a ratio. I think it's 1:25, but I think the one on the left is just a regular variant, which honestly looks the best.
Yeah, the two regulars are the better ones.
I'm gonna say she looks a little hippie there. I don't mind that at all. That's not a bad drawing there.
Mm-hmm.
What in God's name?
Yeah.
Oh, that was it. That's the only.
It was just Sana Staros and the Dr. Afra re-release. Yeah.
Wow.
Very short new comic book day. Long news, but short, releases for comics.
Well, all right. Well, I think that's it. You have anything else?
No. All
right. Well, there is the man there. Saesee. He could have been a super awesome character. It's kind of too late now because you needed to me. You would need him, put him in the Clone Wars, give him some spicy bits then, because anything you do now, you go back and you retro him a cool comic book story where he's a badass. It just makes his death look way, way worse. So at this point, I don't know.
It's weird, yeah, when he's already such a established character like that.
But all right,
if you want to see more of him, like the best thing to really do is read the old Dark Horse Star Wars run.
Yeah.
Yeah. And just rewatch.
Clone Wars.
Just get those few seconds from the original Clone Wars, and you can just watch it on a loop or something if you're really that into them. That'd be kind of cool.
Yeah, that's what I did when I was younger.
All right, I think that's it. Want to thank everybody for coming out and saying hi today. We appreciate it. We'll catch you at the same time next Wednesday. Do we know who we're doing next week?
Actually, we'll have to discuss that because no, I mean it's not bad. I'm saying we'll have to figure something out soon.
Is that your way of saying that you want to do another Bad Batch review?
Absolutely. I'd even watch the past two.
All right, we'll catch you guys later.